So UFC Fight Night Taira vs Park has gone down, and it was a good card. It was a pretty good card. On paper, maybe it didn't look like the strongest. It's an Apex card. Apex cards typically can end up being quite shit, but this was actually a pretty good card. We had the first fight of the night, Pereira Rodriguez versus Caitlin Souza. Rodriguez wins. Moving on up, we had Rafael Esteban versus Felipe Buenas. This was a good fight. This was actually a decent back and forth fight. When I say it was a decent fight, it wasn't like a barn burner back and forth. But Buenas actually had some moments. I think he took the first round. He had a buggy choke that was seemed like it was pretty close. But I think because he was so fixated on getting that buggy choke, I think he gassed out his arms or gassed out his legs, and he succumbed to his cardio issues based on that. Because Rafael Estevam isn't like a guy who's got amazing cardio or anything like that. This is a guy who's shown that he's slowed down. He's got lucky in a couple fights to not get finished. But his cardio looked a lot improved in this fight. I also think, like I said, Felipe Buenas did, gassed out a little bit himself. So Rafael could maybe fight a bit more to his own pace. And most importantly, Felipe Buenas is 14-8. He's a big step down from Charles Johnson and a lot of these other guys that Estevan has beat. But good performance. Man needs to make fucking weight, though. That's one thing. This guy keeps missing weight. I don't think he's made weight for any of his UFC fights. Let me just double check that stat. Because, this guy's a serial weight misser. Okay, he made weight against Aguilar, so that stat is completely wrong. I seen Charles Johnson say that, so I thought it was right, but no. He missed against Johnson. And that's literally fucking it. He's only missed weight twice. That's it. Which isn't good, but I don't know. Charles Johnson was making it sound like this was a fucking very common occurrence. Oh, he also missed weight in LFA, but no, he didn't. No, I'm wrong. Okay, whatever. Regardless, good performance by Esteban. Then we had Austin Bashi versus John Yanis. Yanis just shouldn't be in the UFC. He's just a street fighter. Why Austin Bashi's like a prodigy. Yeah, he lost to Christian Rodriguez, but Christian Rodriguez is an annoying prick who can only beat really good grappling prospects who are undefeated. That is all. That's the only thing Christian Rodriguez lives to do in his life. I don't know what other hobbies he's got. He just likes fucking fraud checking all these prospects. And I don't like to use the term fraud check because obviously they're not frauds. Getting Christian Rodriguez in your debut is pretty tough ask. He's, considering the amount of guys he's beat with good records, and that he's not too bad himself when he's fighting normal fighters, but it's just the tricky veterans seem to always get him. But Austin Bashi looked good, dominates John Yanis, just mauls him everywhere. His striking looked a bit better. He landed some big shots. Just needs to really work on his boxing, and he really can be a threat. His chain wrestling is legit. His submission skills are legit. Just work on that striking, and his cardio is pretty good as well. But John Yanis, just give him some sort of wild brawler, someone who's going to go back and forth on the feet with him. Because he shouldn't be fighting any grapplers because he's just not going to have much success against grapplers. He's got good takedown defense, but against chain wrestlers, nightmare matchup for him. Then we had Andre Puliev versus Nick Klein. Got this fight wrong. Nick Klein just sort of gassed himself out. He just keeps fighting at such a high pace that he can't maintain when he doesn't get a finish. I don't know why he keeps doing it. You would have thought that he would have learnt against Mansour Abdul Malik, but he did not. Or is it Abdul Mansour Malik? I don't know. It's some combination of Mansour in the middle, Malik at the end, and I think Abdul at the beginning. But I don't know. Nick Klein loses. Has a really good first round. Is getting takedowns. Is landing a lot of big shots on Puliev. But Puliev, survives to the second. And he lands a big body shot, and it just seems like Nick Klein wilted pretty easily there. Now, I'm not going to say I would take that body shot, but I also wouldn't go out there fighting at such an insane pace that I can't maintain, especially since this was a problem I faced in my literal last fucking fight. So Nick Klein's now 0-2 in the UFC. He'll probably get one more shot. Just needs to work on pace management, for God's sake. I never thought we'd see Andre Puliev get a win in the UFC, but here we are. Both of these guys are the worst. Probably two of the worst guys who got signed off last season of the Contender Series. Besides maybe that light heavyweight guy, I forgot what his name was. That guy was generally pretty awful. I don't think he's fought since. But this is two of the bottom two signings in recent UFC history outside of short notice guys. But yeah, Puliev wins. Be interesting to see what he gets next. He'll probably get smoked, whoever he gets next. Then we had K1 striking specialist Rodolfo Vieira against Tresean Gore. Now, of course, I'm kidding. I know that Rodolfo Vieira is a jiu-jitsu ace, but he went in there and he outstruck Tresean Gore on the feet, pieced him up, landed good body jabs, was landing a lot of good strikes, was just combo, lots of leg kicks. Barely had any success with his grappling at all because Tresean Gore's got good takedown defense. This is why I was almost close to picking Tresean Gore, but Tresean Gore his striking looked so shit because he was so scared of getting taken down, I think, because he was so focused on stuffing the takedowns. He's getting pieced up by Rodolfo Vieira, who's literally got a photo of him wearing a gi in his Tapology photo. And that ain't a Taekwondo gi. That's a fucking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gi. But anyway, Rodolfo Vieira gets the win, pieces him up, shows some good striking. Then went Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. Rinya Nakamura just immediately, it felt like, got a big body kick, hurt Nathan Fletcher, and just proceeds to beat the shit out of him on the feet. Good performance by Rinya Nakamura, not really much to say. Not much happened from Nathan Fletcher. He should have beat Colin Loughran, to be fair to him, but, he's on like a free fight. No, he beat that Lithuanian guy, so he'll probably get another shot after this, but rough back-to-back fights, especially this is a rough fight. Hopefully Nathan Fletcher does get another shot, because he should have beat Colin Loughran, but Rinya Nakamura is good. He is good, Fought very stupid his last fight against the Tajikistani guy he fought. Didn't use any of his wrestling at all, but hey, his kicks are coming along well. He's been training at ATT. He had that signature Chris Duncan body kick there, and he got the win. So good on Rinya Nakamura to close up the prelims. Then we had Kevin, and I fucking know this isn't how you say his last name. I think it's Valos. It's not Valios. It's Valles. Kevin Valles, I think. I normally just say Valos, so I'm just going to say Valos because I think I'm pronouncing it wrong either way. But yeah, good performance by Kevin here. He beat Danny Silva. 30-27, clear in my opinion. Clear 30-27. Danny Silva was having some success, but he does that typical thing people do when they're losing fights, and he just taunts. I hate when people do it. I said this on my stream yesterday when Jose Pineda was fighting against Movlid Kaibulev. He kept taunting when he'd get taken down. He'd do like the little thingy people do with their fingers where they're waving it around. And I hate when people do that. You're losing. Like, Danny Silva thought he was going to get a robbery fucking decision via aura maxing. Like, he thought, oh yeah, I'm going to do this so I'll be in a TikTok edit. That's going to get me the win. No, it doesn't. Should have kept pushing the pace. Should have thrown more strikes instead of wasting your delatrid acid in your hands and constantly fucking taunting him, making all these expressions on your face and doing all this stupid stuff that everybody always does. Why do they always do it? But regardless, Kevin Valhos, he looked good. Wasn't like a pure domination. Like, it was close. It was competitive. I just thought he stole the first 3 rounds. Somebody said, I've seen so many people saying that, oh, Danny Silva wins the first round. He got a takedown. He had 8 seconds of control and did nothing with it. MMA fans don't know how to score rounds, clearly. But, Valhos looked good. It wasn't like pure domination, but Danny Silva's like a tough, competitive guy. He's not like a guy most people are going to go run through. So, good performance against a tough guy, and yeah, just continue forward. I think this is going to be one of the tougher matchups for Kevin Valhos. I think he has a lot of a better time against other opponents. I think because Danny Silva's so defensive and he's also a good boxer and he's fast himself, it's always going to be hard for him to go in there and have like a highlight reel performance, but still went in there and won every round, which is still very impressive. So yeah, good performance by Kevin Valhos. Then we had Neil fucking Magny getting a finish in 2025 over Alessi Zaleski dos Santos. Neil Magny loses the first round. He's losing the second round, but then Zaleski just gasses out and gets beat the shit out of. Zaleski almost finished Renat for Kretnov in the third round based on his cardio. Now he's going in there and he's getting out cardioed and destroyed by Neil Magny. Like, Death Taxes and Neil Magny getting a fucking comeback win after losing 2 in a row or on his way to getting cut from the UFC is like They're just the things that are always going to happen in life. Whenever you think Neil Magny's about to get cut from the UFC, he comes back and he wins his fight that he's not expected to win. I get it's against a veteran, but like Zaleski, like he was had big shots on Neil Magny and he ate them pretty well. I know he got chinned by Morales and Prates back to back, but survived, won the fight. Give him Gabriel Bonfim in his next fight or something along them lines. Or Randy Brown, I don't know. Give him somebody who's going to beat him. But yeah, good performance by Neil Magny. Then we had Cara Rosa versus Nora Corleone. Cara Rosa wrestling gets the win. Moving on up, we had Esteban Ribovic versus Elvis Brenner. Esteban Ribovic gets this fight done. I can see an argument for 3-0 to Ribovic. I could also see the second round going to Brenner. But yeah, great performance by Ribovic. Pressure forward, pace, lots of big combos. Hurt Brenner in the first round. Had him really badly hurt in the first round, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, beats him up, lands good body shots. And yeah, just pretty much just beats him against the fence, pressures him, puts on a pace. And Ribovic gets it done with that grit, that gritty Argentinian style that you'll also, you've seen by Kevin Valhos as well. You see from Prado when he's not losing. Like, I don't know, Argentinians are just nasty fighters. Like, they're very pressure forward, tough guys. And Elvis Brenner is super tough as well, very durable, ate a lot of big shots. Yeah, this is just a great fight. Ribovic could have a fight with a fucking broom and it would be entertaining. Like, I don't care. You put him in there with anyone and he's going to go in there and he's going to have a hell of a scrap. So he's one of my favorite fighters. He's either going in there and he's having an amazing back and forth scrap, or he's going in there and is immediately chinning Terrence McKinney instantly. So yeah, great fighter, Esteban Ribovic. Love him. Viva la Argentina. The Argentinians went 2-0. I love my Argentinians. So yeah, shout out Argentina. Yeah, great performance there by Esteban Ribovic. Then we had Chris Duncan, my underdog pick. He gets it done. I picked Chris Duncan by decision, and he got it done by decision. Great stuff from Chris Duncan. Tough first round. I can honestly see why one of the judges gave it to Chris Duncan, because he probably realized, that was a headbutt. Like that he didn't actually get dropped in the first round. But I still thought Ribiski. Jesus Christ, Mateus Rebecki. I can only say it when I say Mateus. I can't just say Rebecki for some weird reason sometimes. It's like my brain only knows Mateus Rebecki. I don't ever say the guy's last name without saying the first name. But regardless, Chris Duncan has a tough back and forth fight with Rebecki. Lands a lot of tough elbows, brutal elbows, a lot of clinch knees. Just goes in there, grits down, toughs it out. Chris Duncan gets it done over a really tough Mateus Rebecki. Good performance by Chris Duncan. Ranked opponent next, maybe. Or maybe they just rebook him versus Terrence McKinney. I think he'd beat McKinney, but you never know. Maybe McKinney just goes in there and chins him. And yeah, this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, people always bring up that Tom Nolan lost to what's his name? Nicholas Motta. These wins don't define you. Chris Duncan got chinned by Slava Claus, and now look at the streak he's gone. Tom Nolan beat Slava Claus. I just got to mention that. I see so many people call Tom Nolan shit because he lost to Nicholas Motta. Those losses don't define you. You can improve, especially if you're a young guy. But just want to bring that up real quick. But yeah, good win by Chris Duncan. Maybe they can do Chris Duncan versus Esteban Ribovic. I want to see Ribovic versus oh my god, what's his name? Chilean guy. He just fought Rafael Fiziev. Ignacio Bahamondes. There we go. Bahamondes. I'd like to see that fight, but you never know. Maybe you could even do Bahamondes versus Chris Duncan. Maybe that fight makes a bit more sense because I think Chris Duncan's maybe a bit more deserving of a ranked opponent. But yeah, great performance by Chris Duncan. Then we had Tatsuro Taira versus Hung Sung Park. I've been saying it. Hung Sung Park's not all that. I get this was short notice. That is fair enough. But he immediately gets dropped in this fight against Tatsuro Taira with the hands. Then he gets beaten up, has no moment of success in this fight. He gets choked out or face cranked, I should say, in the second round. Yeah, Sivosek would have chinned Hung Sung Park. I'm telling you guys, he would have really brutally chinned him, I remember so many people so cocky about, like, Osek's done in this fight. Like, bro, Hung Sung Park took Shannon Ross to the second round and people acting like he was the fucking second coming of Jesus Christ. I just don't get it. I don't get MMA fans. He beat Carlos Hernandez and he beat Shannon Ross, who he took to the second round coming off a back-to-back-to-back KO loss streak. And people acting like he was Jesus. I just don't get it. I don't get MMA fans. I don't get how people hype up these prospects who shouldn't be hyped up. Yeah, just MMA fans don't have a great eye for talent. You know, he's good. He's all right. He's okay. He's not. Wasn't anything special. You know, I've seen people saying, "Oh, Park's a future UFC champion." Like, no, he's not. I don't even think Tatsuro Taira is a future UFC champion. He's good, but like again, he beat fucking Hung Sung Park. Like, guys, come on, like chill out. This wasn't against Moreno or anyone crazy like that. It was against Hung Sung Park on short notice. This was both. You know, this was just I don't know, guys. People need to realize the level of the sport. You know, this isn't Hung Sung Park's not an elite level guy. Tatsuro Taira is good. He's very good, but again, yeah, he had a great performance, but it was against Hung Sung Park. People overrated Hung Sung Park, and because of that, people are now going to overrate Tatsuro Taira. He's good. He's 17-1. Losing to Roy Val isn't a bad look by any means, but we got to see him against like the Morenos and all these other guys first, for God's sake. But his striking is looking better, but I also just don't think Park was ever that good, especially with striking defense. Like Shannon Ross landed like a lot of significant strikes on him, and like Park doesn't have like super athleticism or super like explosive power. He's just very technical. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. I know instead of giving him his props, I sort of just shat on both of the guys in the main event. But, you know, it was cool. First main event between two Asian fighters in the UFC, so that's like historical. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe, put on notifications, become a member today. Shout out to my member, to the GOAT, Rick Shaw. I was thinking about like saying his like membership name because he does have a technically he didn't do it under the Rick Shaw name. But shout out to Rick Shaw, my one and only member. So if you guys want to shout out at the end of these videos, become a member because I will just shout you all out. So shout out to Rick Shaw, the GOAT, Rick Shaw. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching though. Special thanks to all you guys. But an extra special thank to Rick Shaw, you know, always in the streams, and he is the first member I have. So yeah, shout you all out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.